I'm Susan Bartlett, and I'm an Adjunct Associate Professor of Medicine at Johns Hopkins in the Division of Rheumatology. My area of expertise is rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis. I trained as a clinical psychologist and a behavioral epidemiologist, so I'm often asked, why rheumatology? There aren't a lot of psychologists who work in this field, but I really think it's one of the most exciting places that one can be. There are so many challenges that come with living with a chronic disease, especially one that's painful and potentially disabling. We see patients across the entire continuum, from having really well-controlled disease that has minimal effect on their day-to-day lives, to others who are greatly affected by their arthritis. As a psychologist, I'm very interested in helping people learn to live the best lives that they can, despite the fact that they now have arthritis. Well, my research interests have changed over the years that I've been here. I started out wanting to learn more about living with RA and what that felt like and how it affected people. You know, everybody's different. I was really interested in things like beliefs and lifestyle and how that impacted whether or not they took medication, how much medication they took, and how they did over time. But frankly, much of this was done from our perspective, and by our, I mean the perspective of clinicians or researchers. We identified what we thought was important, and then we looked for ways to answer questions about that. Starting maybe 10 years ago or so, the process really changed on how we thought about research. We started asking our patients what mattered to them, and we began inviting them to help us to identify what were the important questions that really still needed to be answered. What were the gaps that we were missing in terms of the care we were providing, or the symptoms that the drugs were addressing? And I'll tell you, we've really learned a lot. In some areas, we were on the right track. And in other areas, we'd neglected symptoms that really did matter to patients. And fatigue is a great example of that. So that really has helped to shape our research. It has become, I think, as we've become more patient-centered, our research has become much more meaningful to patients. And for me, it was really a natural evolution, because as a clinical psychologist, I started my career by listening to patients. And now I really get to do so much of the research that we're focusing on because we listened to patients and because they told us the kinds of things that we needed to be focusing on. And it's so clear, everybody benefits from this process. I really can't imagine doing research any other way now.